Good afternoon, all of our merry Marvelites and Michael. We are here doing another live installment of Marvel Movie Talk. So much Marvel movie to talk about. And of course, some TV as well, because it's all part of the big picture now. Seeing some friends in the chat. Cam Egan pointing out that there's a little miscommunication on when the show started, but regular time,
Central time zone.
No, but we'll do a 4 a.m. after dark broadcast.
Yeah, but that's all right. People find it when they find it. That's the beauty of the internet. And as always, I am Christian Bladt. He is Michael X Shirley.
Yep.
And down there, of course, welcome back, Connor himself, Count Eric Conner.
Up your nose with a rubber hose, Christian.
Oh, thank you. Signed Epstein's mother. So, lots to talk about in a relatively slow week. And all of a sudden, everybody was talking Marvel this week. There was that sweet trailer that I think it will effectively be known as the "You don't want to watch this shit in your house, do you? No. You want to come to the fucking movies like a man. You don't want Disney Premier Access is for losers. Look how awesome it was to see Endgame in the theater. Remember? And look what we got coming." And I think it was very effective. I like the look back. Remember some of our greatest hits, and then we got all this cool shit coming out. Michael, what'd you think of that trailer?
It just made me think of like being in those movies and thinking, God, I wish this could end so I could go outside and have a cigarette. I mean, it really didn't have that same effect on me. But I did think it was pretty epic. And it was very like, I just kind of was like, all right, you guys, when they had the 4 at the end, I was like, oh, come on. Like, what is that supposed to be, an Easter egg? Like, what is that?
It's phase 4, and I hear that phase 4 is going to be fantastic. What?
The whole Angelina Jolie thing was exactly what I imagined, like, her introductory shot would be. Like,
I actually feel like she was in the process of... She was in the process of trying to adopt everyone else that was in that scene with her.
Yeah, I'm really not excited for the Eternals. It looks like it was shot like in the woods and in the desert.
You know, we joked last time about, are they going to have any of the characters shitting in a bucket? And now that we've seen that,
probably
probable, possible, and I'm more hopeful than ever.
I don't know that does an Eternal have to expletive?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that there's several expletives that they have to perform on a semi-regular basis. But look, a movie filmed in the desert in the woods. You're talking about the greatest sci-fi film of all time, Return of the Jedi, filmed in the desert and in the woods. So if that is the criteria, then I am all in. And Michael, I'm sure if you don't mind traveling abroad, you could probably find a movie theater where you can still smoke inside while you're watching. So you don't have to go outside to have a cigarette.
Hold on, Tennessee, you're really changing my opinion of the South.
Yeah, I thought in Tennessee you could smoke in church. So you're telling me you can't smoke?
I think you can only smoke in like porn theaters.
Yeah. So like
that's our 4 a.m.
They're not going to have Black Widow money.
Well, no, but that version of Black Widow is going to be that Black Widow is a very different film.
Yeah,
so, just tread lightly. So, Eric, what did you think of the "We're going to try and make you cry" trailer that they put out there?
Am I allowed to? I hate to say it, and I know at least one half of you will taunt me. It actually gave me goosebumps. I'm sorry, I'm saying it.
It's all right.
The music, the build-up, I get it.
Check it out. Yeah. Cam Egan. I don't know about you guys, but I wanted to cry hearing Stanley's voice and how beautiful his thoughts were. Yeah.
I'm not the sentimental like that.
Well,
Michael knows why we cry, though it is something he can never do.
And as I tweeted after I saw it just the first time, every single time that Sam says on your left. I cried like a baby when I saw it in the theater the first time. And I think I saw it in the theater 4 times, differing degrees of welling up with tears each time. It got me again. And I haven't seen the movie in a little while. That movie's 2 years old now, by the way. we've
longest years in history.
Yeah, we've moved like one chess piece since then on the MCU board. So you got a little. What did you find to be the most affecting about this, Eric?
I'll agree with Cammy Egan. Like hearing Stan Lee's voice at first, I'm like, oh, they're going there, but then I'm like, oh, they went there, and it worked, and it totally hooked me in. But then also just getting a glimpse of the Eternals, which, joking about buckets aside, although again, I do hope it is not a joke. I think there's something to be said about like, wow, that really does look like the Nomadland version of MCU. And I'll tell you, that got I don't know if I would use the word excited about Eternals, but it did at least make me. I went to an actual comic book store inside.
What?
And I know, and I wore like 9 masks, and then I bought like the newest run of Eternals.
Oh, they got you.
They did
get you. I have it, but I haven't read it yet. The first couple issues, but the only thing about it seems like it's a little too Nomadland, because I'm like, well, why does Icarus drive around in a van? Like can we branch out the story a little bit? And Cammy Egan, right there with me. When Sam said on your left, I shouted out yes so loud my husband was embarrassed because I was the only one in the theater cheering. You went to a bad theater.
Yeah, about to say,
my
where
theater
do you live?
was just like the theater in the trailer. Of course, it was a fancy press screening, but anyway, there still were
get
people
out of here.
There were people still very excited just because we're in the press and we're more important than all
Christian's
the rest
the
of you.
hero of every story Christian tells.
All y'all were excited because y'all were getting paid to see it.
Yeah.
No. We just didn't have to pay. That's different. I wasn't getting paid.
Good.
There were no snacks, by the way. All right. So
they didn't give you popcorn?
No popcorn.
It was a 9 a.m. press screening, but yes, I was still furious.
And on that end too, that one thing it actually also got me a little sad about. I don't know about yourself, Christian, but like ArcLight in Sherman Oaks.
I'm here too. I've seen.
I know, but you haven't been in LA for a while.
I know, but I lived right by the ArcLight.
You're ArcLight. Yeah, so like the idea
you go to movie theaters where you don't even have to wear shoes inside it.
Yeah, no pants, no pants. No
my feet would be after that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, especially if you went to the adult theater, then just really think about what your feet. But what was your LA shaming point going to be about the?
It wasn't even shaming. It's just the idea that the ArcLight Theater, for those who don't live in LA, like that was like kind of like a punch to the gut for all cinephiles in Los Angeles, which is basically all of Los Angeles. Yeah, and so the idea of not like ArcLight Sherman Oaks, weirdly enough, instead of Hollywood, that's the one we usually go to for like opening nights, midnight shows, and all that.
Oh,
and so the idea
must be nice to have ArcLight money burning a hole in your pocket.
Oh, it must be nicer not to have to pay, young Padawan. But in the end of it all, the idea that I'm not going to be at the ArcLight seeing that, the fact
that you're going to have to go to a national chain theater like AMC or Cinemark,
Cinemark is like a hobo movie theater. My feet there.
The Cinemark in North Hollywood is very nice. I don't know what you're talking about. If they would like to let me rent it out for Black Widow, I will certainly sign up. And look, that was part of the narrative online. Was a lot of people that I interact with on Twitter were saying that now they know what their return to movies is going to be. They're going for Black Widow, and I'm planning on going for that, especially because I think a half an hour of it's filmed in IMAX, and that's I'm wondering, how many people that changed for. What, that's going to be an IMAX?
I mean, I can't even ride a carousel.
But just think about
bad equilibrium.
Well, I don't know, but ScarJo's going to be so big, Yeah, you don't want that? You don't want that much.
I
You don't
like
want
to say those Yelena Belovas are going to.
you don't want to. You don't want to. You don't want to zoom in on Florence's pooch. It's not what you're interested in. What? What?
I don't David harbor you no ill will.
Right, exactly. So I don't know. I mean, I think that I think a lot of people are like, yeah, that's the moment. I knew people who like they couldn't wait. They had to go and see Godzilla versus King Kong or Mortal Kombat, and I'm like,
don't even talk to me about what they did to Mortal Kombat.
Oh, it was not good. I saw it at the drive-in, and yeah, that
would make me cry if I have to get into that.
But I think that that's just how a lot of people feel, and I'm firmly deciding that I absolutely don't want to go to the movies before Black Widow, which, by the way, was supposed to come out today. It's supposed to have come out a few times, but the most recent supposed to have come out was today. So we could have been talking about that instead of just a 2.5 minute commercial. So does and let us know in the chat if you were maybe thinking about waiting a little longer, you weren't sure how you felt, but then you're like, damn it, I need to go see Black Widow on the big screen because that's the next one. And I will absolutely be seeing that on the big screen inside a movie theater as long as my wife will let me. And that remains to be seen. So possibly could be back at the drive-in. But Eric, what can you sympathize with that reaction? Can you relate to the idea of like maybe people that needed that little push? That's exactly what this was, right? It's like, come on, you love the MCU. It's not something to watch on your phone. What are you doing? Come on.
Well, yeah, I wasn't willing to die over King Kong and Godzilla or Mortal Kombat. Black Widow, I'm on the fence about.
Apparently, Millie Bobby Brown's career was willing to die over it, but I digress. Go ahead.
Yeah, I you tell me it's filmed partially in IMAX, and my first thought is fuck. That means I might actually have to go inside a movie theater in July, which was not part of the plan, but it takes an MCU to get us kind of over that initial hump. And I'm still on the fence. So I don't know if I would see Black Widow I drive in, no problem. Movie theater, July, a lot of people still not vaccinated. I don't know. And all of a sudden it becomes this like sort of gut check of like what's worth what, like a movie that was supposed to come out 2 years ago that's not continuing the MCU, mythology, but rather going back 3 steps. Maybe if it was Doctor Strange 2, even if it was like right now, I'd consider buying.
Okay, what if it was some of the other films on the slate? What if it was Shang-Chi or Eternals or Spider-Man?
Yeah, Spider-Man probably, okay. And also not to mention my kids would demand it, so we would all be just dressed in hazmat suits, buying an entire row of tickets, I suppose. Yeah. But that would be worth it. Black Widow.
Michael, it's well documented that apart from the kind of theaters that we were talking about earlier in this episode, you typically don't enjoy going to the movies to see your movies. So this hasn't moved the needle for you at all.
It's too invasive.
Yeah.
Like I have to sit by like people I don't even know.
I get it. I don't even like the people I do know. So the idea that I have to sit by people that I don't know, but Cam Egan, I can't wait to go back to the movies. I'm hoping to see Black Widow at the drive-in. There is no way in hell I'm going to pay for premiere access for Black Widow. I mean, it's $30, $30, so that's,
if you have a big brood like Eric, it's worth your money
you're going to save out. Yeah. You get the premiere access. You go to Vaughn's and you buy the canister of Orville Redenbacher, instead of the 5 buckets, so something to think about, if you want to make a budget conscious decision. Yeah.
And you could even rent out like your own little thing. Like you could charge money. You could make money off of Black Widow.
Come on. You spoke before Feige. Can't you explain how you need to have this as a learning experience? That the New York Film Academy needs to have an event where you get to see it either early or just free.
Yeah, no, that's a solid point. Like writing off renting an entire theater.
Yeah.
Saying it was for academic needs.
It's $150 or $250. And look, I'll tell you this. Me, you, and Jeff can split the cost. If you want to fly out, but I know you don't, it's not that you're not invited, but I just know that we can't count on you to help us rent out a theater for Black Widow. We might FaceTime with you during the credits.
The best part of the movie. Thanks.
Yeah, right, exactly. And Michael B, they're still releasing Black Widow in theaters. Michael B, where you been? Come on. If Tom and Jerry is released in theaters and also on streaming, then yeah, Black Widow is going to have a dual release. And July 9th, it's 2 months from Mother's Day. So that's going to be my Mother's Day present to my wife. By the way, I'm going to the movies without you 2 months from today. You can come if you want to, but
you're such a romantic Christian. It really brings a tear to the eye.
Her gift is your 2 lovely children.
Yes, exactly. The only gift my wife needs is the fact that when I went out for a pack of smokes, I actually came back. It was 2 months later, but I still came back. That's not really the point.
And you just gave me those cigarettes. You don't even smoke.
No, I know. I was just being a good friend.
Get out of the house.
Yeah. Daniel Drew, I'm going to pay for it because under normal circumstances, I will have gone to it with different friends at different times. So for him, it's worth it. I think that they did a good job in at least sowing those seeds of doubt for people, because a lot of people were like, oh, great, Disney Premier Access. That's how I'm going to see it. But now they're like, yeah, but it would be kind of cool to see it in the theater. And that's, I don't know. I think that they're doing a good job building excitement for a movie that was essentially done 2 years ago and is set like 5 years ago, almost to the day, because it was earlier this week that it was the anniversary of the release of Captain America Civil War. And I was reminded of my post. We were supposed to pick back then Team Cap or Team Iron Man, but I, of course, made sure everyone knew I was Team Spidey. Like there was like, I don't want to, I'm on neither of their, like, you know, that was the movie that gave us Spider-Man. He came back. He joined the MCU. It was, I wasn't rooting for anybody except for Peter Parker.
Well, on the topic of anniversaries, I like to mention that it was 5 years ago the Crunchwrap Supreme was released by Taco Bell.
I wish that it was. By the way,
where do you keep up with these numbers? Do you have like a calendar that tells you what T-shirt to wear what day?
Yes, I have a personal dresser. No, I have like 20 T-shirts, and I'm reminded because I'm in my 40s, so I use Facebook, and so Facebook will always remind me.
Oh, see, I don't use Facebook.
Right, of course.
So I don't know. Yeah,
because you're not a man of a certain age. You're still a kid.
But your MySpace account is killing it.
But well, yeah. If you want to join me on Friendster, please do. I welcome the interaction with everyone from there.
Christian, can I circle back one second? So you brought up Tom and Jerry. Trust me, it's relevant. Did you?
I
do you know who directed Tom and Jerry?
I do not.
Tim Story, as in the director of Fantastic Four 1 and 2.
Wow, I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have known it was going to be a bad movie then.
Yeah, and what else? I
knew Tom and Jerry was going to be a bad movie when Colin Jost's name was on the poster,
and he wasn't behind a desk.
What has happened to Chloe Grace Mertz's
career? What has happened?
She was our Millie Bobby Brown. Like,
I mean, she was Hit Girl and she was Carrie, and now she's, I don't know, she's like best friends with Tom and Jerry. I agree.
Paul, when you don't get your first 10 choices, basically, is where she is now. I mean, and when I saw his name pop up, I honestly I could not stand Fantastic Four 2. Was for my money, one of the worst comic book adaptations of all time, and it insulted me. It was so bad.
But it's still not the worst Fantastic Four movie, though.
You don't know that we've never seen a true theatrical release of it.
No, I still say that the worst Fantastic Four movie is the one with
Oh, Kate Mara. Yeah, she runs.
Yeah, the one with Kate
everything.
Mara. That and Michael B.
bored,
Jordan
too.
was so wasted in that movie because like he's always great, but boy, that was a terrible movie. And yeah.
So
But
Tim Story's
yeah,
now like in the minor leagues. It's like Albert Pujols being designated for assignment. It feels like now all of a
It's
sudden like minor
boy,
league.
you want to talk about literal inside baseball. Somebody sent me a message right before we started. It was a joke. Albert Pujols is so old that he was in a playoff series against the Philadelphia Phillies. And that made me laugh. But anyway, that's just for us. That's not for the rest of you. Welcome
That's a
back to
deep
the
cut.
show, everybody. That was a quick detour there. So this trailer also tells us about the other movies that are coming. And we've talked about some of them. We've talked about, it was announced, I don't know, around a month ago that Shang-Chi, because, this release date for Black Widow was going to be Shang-Chi's release date. If Black Widow had come out today, Shang-Chi was going to come out in July. Well, now it's going to come out in September. And we've talked about Eternals. And we know that we've got our friend Doctor Strange. And, well, let's not skip Spider-Man No Way Home. We have known that that's December 17th for a while. And then March 25th, 2022, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That's not really news. I think we very much knew that. Thor Love and Thunder, May 6th. So a year from yesterday, Thor Love and Thunder. And July 8th, 2022, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And somewhere in 2022, there's an expectation for a Blade movie, but we'll see when that happens. And then I think the biggest piece of actual news is from that trailer is November 11th, 2022, The Marvels, which there's a lot to read into the fact that that's not called Captain Marvel 2. Michael Shirley, go ahead and run with it. Why is it not called Captain Marvel 2?
Because Brie Larson is leaving the MCU because she's way too powerful and way too difficult and not funny enough. So they're saying, I don't agree with those things. I think she's fine. But they're going to take her out with Rogue. And then we're going to have Miss Marvel. And we're going to have a new Captain Marvel, Tiona Paris.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll have Monica Rambeau. And we'll have Kamala Khan, whose Disney Plus series will have premiered by then.
Mm-hmm.
I've been talking for like 6 months about the fact that they keep saying one of the big name women in the MCU jumping in and jumping right back out. And I think it's Brie Larson.
Yeah. No, you look, if I had any kind of discipline and took notes, I could go back and isolate the moment you said it a long time ago.
But I guess Evangeline Lilly too, but for some reason they won't keep her around.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people thought it was her when it's interesting because she wasn't like the only anti-vaxxer in the MCU because Shuri also was out there. Letitia Wright.
I was real nervous for her when she said that.
But and Ghost 8386. How about Blue Marvel as well? So you could get Blue Marvel. You could get Ms. Marvel. You could get Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel. There's a lot that can be happening in the Marvels. I'm excited because I don't know exactly what that's going to be, how much screen time everybody's going to get, and I think that it was a very exciting reveal. Because there's a lot that we know about that. There's a lot that we don't know about it. I mean, the fact that we expect, I don't know. I think that we're still going to get Brie Larson after that, but
I do too. I think she's going to be depowered and she's going to be like Don Cheadle. Like she's just going to like show up every once in a while and like walk away.
Yeah.
She'll be a civilian.
Michael, your connection is getting very garbled right now. So,
no.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes, but maybe we'll have you reconnect in a moment. I want to get your thoughts on the Marvels, Eric. When you saw that, that was the title. Michael just put himself in timeout. I think that I think it's well deserved for anyone that's on those late night text chains.
Let's just talk baseball until he comes back.
Yeah,
that Marvel dead weight.
Right, exactly. But anyway, Michael's back. But so give us your thoughts, Eric, on the Marvels as a title, what it could possibly mean, and let's
Yeah.
go from there.
Well, something that's kind of interesting too, because we've talked about the idea of like, well, what do they introduce in the TV universe? What do they introduce in the cinematic universe? And I think this idea, like, well, we've already been introduced to a new Marvel, and we'll get another Marvel. So to me, what's really interesting is the sort of the synergy of it all. That's like, okay, they're now going to be using the TV series as almost like I'm sorry to use the term farm team again or minor leagues, but it'll be like the farm team to then be like, okay, well, what can we then build part of the cinematic universe around? So the idea that we're going to get them first on TV and then film to me is pretty cool. And I agree. It does feel like, man, if they want to depower her, I mean, the Rogue plotline, the plot line that made the Rogue that at least I grew up reading was that Rogue, sort of the post battle Rogue who all of a sudden had her powers. So
yeah,
that excites me about maybe Rogue will finally get her due.
Yeah, and I know Michael wants her to continue to be played by Anna Paquin. Some of us feel differently, but Michael feels so strongly about that I don't want to get in his way.
I just want Michael to be happy.
Yeah, that's all we want, Michael, is we just want you to be happy.
I'd be happy if Anna Paquin had been Kitty Pryde, but whatever.
Anna Paquin would have been a great Kitty Pryde. She was age appropriate for Kitty Pryde.
Am I still garbled?
You are still garbled, yes.
Oh, really?
I know. I don't want it to be true. Yeah, this whole thing is. By the way, Michael B. to the idea of Anna Paquin continuing to play Rogue. Oh hell no! So, yeah. What? Oh yeah. So earlier, Cami Egan, do you think Marvel Studios has already cast Fantastic Four and will announce it sometimes next year? It's entirely possible that they know who's going to be in it. I don't know where they are script wise. I think that as we saw with this trailer, they're very happy to dole out information when it's convenient. There's a lot of excitement in the chat that people are excited that the title of Black Panther 2 will be Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
And it's May 6, 2022. And then there's the one other movie is Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, February 17th, 2023. And then if you really want to keep looking into the future, 2 years from Wednesday, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is. So we've got all of our movies mapped out for the next 2 years. And I think that we don't need to try and fit any more in there, but let's not forget, we still need them to put out Morbius, Venom 2, and I don't know. We don't know what else Sony has there. And there's an animated a second Spider-Verse movie. So this isn't even taking all that into consideration. So they've got a lot of stuff mapped out for us. I'm very excited. I think, look, the ultimate wild card is really just what Black Panther 2 is going to be. Is Shuri going to be take over as Black Panther? Are they going to figure out a way to bring back Michael B. Jordan and somehow being like, remember how he was a bad guy? Yeah, he got over that. And remember how, he's dead? Well, he got over that too. So a lot of questions. And I'm personally excited for all the answers. I think if they wanted to put all those movies out in the theater, but you can only see them once, and you just have to sit and watch them all the way through, and then you'll never see them again. I would go today if I could, is what my point is. And not sure about this, Cami Egan. There's an expectation for Blade sometime next year, but we don't really know. And Michael B., when do you guys think Marvel will officially release mutants into the MCU? Because I want my Storm. I would love to see a great. It was a little typo there. Yeah, Spider-Man and his amazing friend.
Sorter-Man is a vegetarian. He only eats soy.
And Cami Egan, I agree. I think we're waiting for mutants for at least 3 years. In terms of mutants starring in a movie, I agree. I think you could have somebody creep into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And Michael, I know you want your mutants, but realistically, do you think we're going to get them as soon as Doctor Strange 2, or do you think that Kevin Feige's playing the long game and wants to keep us waiting on our mutants.
Am I still garbled?
A little bit, but let's see if we can hear you.
I think Rogue's going to be our first mutant.
I would not be disappointed by that. I would like to see her, and that would be a good time for it. And I know, Eric, you have places to be. You made sure that we understood that you had a doctor's appointment that was not colon related. So thank you for making sure that our audience now knows that. So
well, because I figured, listen, might as well avoid the sticky, yes, I use that word, topic. But yes, non-colon related doctor's appointment for those who care about my colon as much as I do.
There's one other person on this screen who cares about your colon as much as you do, and it's not me. But Eric, hopefully we will see you next week. We'll talk a little bit later in the show about our scheduling for next week and the weeks ahead. But Eric, thank you as always, and we will see you soon. So Michael, now we'll see if maybe you're less garbled, but then if you're just as garbled, then it's like I'm just going to be talking to somebody who's constantly buffering, but if it gets really bad, I might want to deprive the audience and have you turn off your camera. And I know we want to see you, but if it gets really bad, we'll just do audio. So Michael B, this is a very popular thought. Just recast the role of T'Challa. There's some talented actors, is what I'll say to that, who can do the job well. I think that they feel very strongly that they want to retire the character. The mantle of Black Panther, it's established, can be passed between people. It has been passed between people. So I whether it would be good storytelling or not, I think it could definitely be interesting to just have someone else. I think that that's just not what they're going to do. And it's just a matter of what they decide is going to be the best fit for them. So let's do Sophie's choice for a moment, Michael. Out of all the movies that were in the trailer, all the ones that I just rattled off, is there one where you're like the most excited for it? Of these ones that we have, concrete release dates and titles and all that, not the down the road, down the road getting, a Skids and Boom Boom buddy comedy where they play Thelma and Louise or something.
I'm most excited for the Marvels, and then I would say close second, Doctor Strange.
I think I might switch those, and then of course like Spidey's just Spidey, but I think very excited for what the Marvels is going to entail. But I just really, WandaVision made me much more invested in this Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness story. So I definitely want to see where it goes. Let's talk about some of the other news that was made. Something that I referenced in passing before Eric ditched us was that we had known for a while that Loki was going to premiere on Friday, June 11th. And then they announced that they moved that up by a couple days. It'll be on Wednesday, June 9th. And all the episodes of Loki will now premiere on Wednesdays. So effective June 9th, we will be doing this show on Wednesdays, the same time, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And yes, 4 p.m. Central Time. We'll still be doing this show then, and then we'll see what we do next after Loki, what day they take. I think it's because they didn't want to put out Loki the same day that they have the animated Star Wars Bad Batch series. I think that they felt like they should map out their content a little bit. So that's my theory anyway. But Michael, are you going to be able to stomach 6 hours of Tom Hiddleston as Loki?
I'm gonna try.
Well, that's all.
I'm just gonna try.
That's all we can ask, is that you try.
I'm not a fan, a Loki fanboy at all.
I know, but I think that feedback can be great.
Yeah, I'll be here to bring all of you back down to earth.
Yeah, and we'll talk about how great it was, and you're like, nope, it was trash. And by the way, we will also be doing our show next week, Wednesday, just to keep it confusing. at the same time. But then we've got a couple of Fridays. The first couple episodes of MODOK will do this show on Fridays. So next week, Wednesday, then we're back on Friday for a few weeks, and then for Loki. But don't worry, we'll tweet it all out. Here's what you should just do. Subscribe to the Blackcast YouTube channel, and then you'll just always be notified when there's a new episode. And if you can't watch it, it's always archived right there. And you can subscribe and smash that like button. And you can always make sure that you keep in touch with us. Now, that's sort of the newsy part of it. Michael, did you take the time to watch the Falcon and Winter Soldier Assembled, which we hadn't seen last week when we did our show?
Unfortunately, I did.
I'll talk about what I thought was best about it. I liked seeing how they did some of those like composite shots where, you know, they changed the backgrounds and they changed the elements, and the fact that they had to use CGI just to fix Sam's mask so it didn't keep sticking out. I'm like, well, I'm glad they did, because that would have annoyed me so much if he had a shitty mask. You know, it's like Captain America should have a better mask than that. But I thought that stuff was really interesting, because I don't know, I don't watch a ton of behind the scenes stuff. I had never seen it in that level, and just the way that they showed you, like, yeah, they're on this soundstage, and then it looks like they're here, and then they have to match up this shot of John Walker because they filmed this in Atlanta and this in Prague, but it was supposed to be Germany, blah, 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 you know, all of that. I don't know. I found that stuff to be cool. Did you enjoy any aspect of some of the behind the scenes stuff, Michael?
That is probably the main part of it that I did not hate. I just really don't like hearing or knowing how a movie's made. That kind of takes it out for me. So I begrudgingly kind of watch, you know, these assembled things. But yeah, I thought it was really cool to see how they mixed all this stuff up to make the scenes. Because, you know, I was like, you couldn't pay me to do that. And then after I saw how they made it, I was like, well, maybe you could. But it was just very neat to see also how they did Madripoor. That was probably the most interesting scenery tidbit for me.
Yeah, because it was just like a neighborhood outside of Atlanta. It was just across the way from where they were. They found some alleys and were like, wait a minute, I think this is it. That was fascinating. I had no idea where in the world that was that they filmed it, but I'll tell you where I wouldn't have guessed it was. Suburban Atlanta. Yeah, that is.
I figured it was probably somewhere in Japan or something.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I thought that was really interesting. I thought that there were some fun, lighthearted moments of, the cast on set, but they didn't really deal with it in the WandaVision Assembled. I was very interested in how they made the show because of COVID. I mean, we knew the story. We talked about it on this show more than a year ago, like a year plus ago, that they had to stop production because they were in Prague. So it was stuff that we knew. And then up until that point, I thought it was interesting that some of this behind the scenes stuff, there's some stuff where the crew's wearing masks. There's stuff where everybody's really close together. And, so you get kind of a feel for the order they film stuff in. But I thought that it helped me at least understand the process and just what went into it. And I don't know. I mean, I really liked hearing the fact that big speech that Sam gave, that the creator, Malcolm Spellman, Mr. Spellman, was on the phone with Anthony Mackie. And it was like they went for hours going over every line, and he wanted to make sure it felt good. And I thought that Anthony Mackie had some good insight that, this show wasn't created with the pandemic, with the protests and Black Lives Matter and any of that stuff, but it just became more relevant by the time it aired. So I don't know. I thought seeing the way that people were affected by it, the cast, the creators, and even the young girl who played Carly, and I like the actor who played Battlestar. He was just like, I didn't even know what I was playing. You hear a lot of that. And if somebody had to die in that show, I still wish it would have been John Walker. I could have used more Lamar, but I don't know. I mean, I thought that it was interesting. And I'm sure you cherished every moment of Julia Louis-Dreyfus talking about what it meant to her to join the MCU.
It
Michael?
didn't bother me, actually. It kind of like grounded it a little for me, seeing her kind of just be open to. It seems like she's gonna be open to whatever.
Yeah, and I think that I like that she's excited to play. This character is going to be sort of a female mastermind, and I think that it's a nice reminder of where all these characters might be going, and when we might see them again, and just sort of addressing the fact that they thought about trying to pick up Sharon Carter's story in the more recent Avengers movies. But no one
cares.
There was no room for her in those stories. I mean, a Thanos wants to, destroy half of all living things in the universe. There's no time for Sharon Carter, just no time. And Kemi Egan says, Disney Plus is killing it with the shows. I can't wait to watch the What If series. What If isn't getting plugged much, but I'm looking forward to it. I agree. It's sometime. He knew the Battlestar character from when he was young. Yeah, that the actor who played Lamar said that he there was one in particular. He described the cover. There was one that he had from sort of like a late '80s run of Captain America, and then I sort of liked how much they talked about incorporating Flag Smasher from the comics, which is also the same run that I read of Captain America, and just sort of turning to comics for characters like Val. I think that it's I don't know. It was an interesting hour, but I can't imagine ever watching that again. But I found it to be very interesting.
I felt vindicated about thinking that Anthony Mackie's costume was really janky because they had to spend so much money to make it not look janky. Like, they're gonna figure that out. There is a fabric that will. I know what they said.
Yeah,
but there is a fabric that will work with him. There is. It's called neoprene.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, if the problem is that cowl that he wears around his face keeps sticking out, well, then just don't have that anymore. I mean, I wonder if he'll still have that the next time we see him.
Maybe like a oversized a bike helmet, kind of like Juggernaut style.
Yeah. And people in the chat are continuing to talk about what if they're wondering why it's not being promoted as much. I think it's mostly because it's animated, but it's also after Loki. So it's not the next thing. So I think that there will be a lot of promotion for What If, especially because we know that I think in multiple episodes, Chadwick Boseman voices T'Challa, so it's going to be the last time he performs that character. So I think that they will definitely take their time and promote it. And look, Daniel's absolutely right. We're just a couple of weeks from MODOK. 2 weeks from today, MODOK will be on Hulu. So we've got all of that. Michael, I do want to take a moment and shift it to comic books for a moment. How excited are you for the Hellfire Gala? Do you have all your outfits picked out?
I'm still waiting for that free comic book in the mail that I wasn't willing to go to a store and get for free.
My store didn't have it. So how much did you pay for your free comic book?
I think it was with shipping, it was $8.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah,
especially with shipping included.
Well, supposedly in this free, I don't know if any of you guys out there have gotten your hands on it. In this, what would you call it? Hellfire preview?
Yeah, it's definitely what I would call it. Yeah,
they have everyone's. From what I've been told, they have everyone's outfits listed in there. So if you don't want to buy the 50 variant comics it takes to make up their long red carpet walk, I guess this will supplement that.
Yeah, well, it's coming. And then the other thing that is coming to the comics a little bit later this
got it. Daniel Drew's got it.
Oh, he's got it. Well, we'll talk about it in a second because I'm already coming to in August is the Trial of Magneto, which I commented on, and I pointed out that been there, done that, bagged and boarded it. The Trial of Magneto, with by the way,
great cover, Christian. I've seen that.
Do you know who that is standing behind Magneto on the left?
Carol Danvers.
No, Fenris. Remember how much? Remember how much you didn't care about Fenris when
I'm not looking into this cover now.
But look at that
thinking about buying it.
What about that terrible Magneto costume with the M?
Well, look at Rogue's like a Batwing suit from Falcon and Winter Soldier, scene 1.
Yeah, she did have that look for a little while there. But how can you not be excited about Fenris? I mean, look, there they are, right there behind Magneto.
You're the only person in like Marvel fandom that gets excited about Fenris.
Look, there was not a lot to be excited about that show, the Gifted. Okay, so
or as I like to call it, the Re-Gifted.
The Re-Gifted. But you do have your Lorna Dane hair today, so obviously.
Oh, gotta.
And yes, so Daniel Drew said the Gala Guide is pretty cool. It's like a magazine. Emma Frost is being interviewed, etc. So,
yes.
I don't know that I've gotten an invite to the Hellfire Ball, but I will definitely not be sitting in the gallery for the trial of Magneto. That's my whole point. I've already gone through the trial of Magneto, and
what is he going in front of Krakoa now?
Probably
humanity mutanity.
Yeah. And there's a theory out there that all of this Krakoa stuff is alternate timeline stuff.
I hope so.
As soon as Hickman has had enough, they're gonna get their senses about themselves and tell a normal story. And they still probably, I can't imagine they still won't hire Chris Claremont to write the book, but they'll make it a little bit more grounded in the MCU as opposed to all of this that they've had going on right now. Anyway, I just wanted to take a moment to talk about those few things there. I just want to show off Fenris again one last time.
I want to see the other one, the new one.
The new one?
Yeah, the new Magneto one. You don't have that? Yeah.
No, it's right there. Yeah. So he's got the black suit on. And then, the interesting thing about that is that that is John Romita Jr., who did he's the artist for both of those covers. So this is him in 2021, John Romita Jr., and then this is him in 1985. So
it's a stark difference, like, honestly.
Yeah. Oh no, his style is very different right now. There are definitely people who are no longer fans of John Romita Jr., but I'm excited to see him back. So we'll keep an eye on all that, and we'll let everybody know how it's all moving along. But that is all the time we have for this week. It's always great to see everybody joining us for the live chat. And honestly, how much more fun has the show been since Eric left us 20 minutes ago?
I know. He sent this private chat message. It's like, I'm out in a few minutes. And I said, oh, good.
Sure, you did. That's exactly what you said. But as I mentioned earlier, we will be with you next Wednesday at 2 Pacific. I don't want to promise who's going to be with us because I'm always wrong whenever I say this person is going to be on with us. Let's just say she stands us up probably as much as she stood up.
How do you,
Mr. Mitzelplick? Yeah, she stands us up as much as she probably stood up all the boys back in high school. So, but we'll see who will be with us next Wednesday at 2. And Kemi Egan asked an important question. Where's Jeff? We love Jeff. Jeff's brother got married. So Jeff has been away, but Jeff will be back with us in time for the MODOK premiere, and he'll be doing Loki with us. Anyway, so and you can follow him at Jeff Will Jr. on Twitter, Count Eric Conner on Twitter, and
I think you pronounced it wrong. I hate Michael Shirley on Instagram and Michael X Shirley on Twitter until they let me lengthen my characters to have the same name.
As soon as they let you, yeah. Mm-hmm. And as always, I'm at Christian DMZ, and please subscribe to the Blackcast YouTube channel. You'll get this show, you'll get some politics, and it's all right if you don't want to watch that. That's all right. I barely like talking about it anyway. But you'll also get the Blackcast, the titular show for the network. And we had an episode this week celebrating May the 4th, where I spoke with my friends Lauren and Lindsay, who have only both only started watching Star Wars within the last year. So I thought it would be interesting to get their perspective. So look for that. That's Blackcast episode 434 on the same YouTube page where you're finding this. That is all the time we have for this week, but we will see you next Wednesday. Until then, Excelsior!